Tribal council meeting to order at exactly 5:30. At least we could say we had one meeting and started exactly on time. And I'm asking Chief Justice Nathan Young if he would lead us in a moment of prayer.
If you'd all rise, please, remove your caps. Oh, merciful Father, we ask you to be with these people here tonight. We ask you to be with the leadership and the council of this tribe. And we ask you that you be with the members of this tribe. Wherever there may be a member of this tribe, a child, an elder, any person in need or suffering, we ask you to come and to help and bless them. We thank you for the wonderful blessings you've given us in lives, and we ask this to be a successful night for the Delaware tribe. Amen.
Amen.
I
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, you got a sheet.
Roll call.
Chief Chester Brooks,
Here.
Assistant Chief Bonnie Jo Griffiths,
Here.
Secretary Charles Rambo, here. Treasurer Benita Shea,
Here.
Member Nikki Malcolm,
Here.
Member Joe Brooks is absent, Member Nathan Young IV is absent.
Chief, I'd like to make a motion that we excuse Joe Brooks and Nathan Young's absence since they are at the repatriation in New York.
Do I hear a second to
I'll
that?
second that.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Can I hear a motion to amend our agenda?
I'm gonna make a motion to amend our agenda to include resolution 2018-33, which everybody has a copy of. It just got left off of this. And also that under new business, that if the temporary tribal judge seat is approved, that we allow Chief Justice Young to swear in the new judge, the temporary judge. So it'd be like an A1 or something.
I'll second that motion.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor of the motion to amend the agenda, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Let the record show the agenda is amended.
I'm excused for this moment. My alarm's going off the car.
Uh-oh.
And I thought it was only my wife that did it.
While our secretary turns his alarm off, I, first of all, would recognize Nikki and Lindsay Harris. Lindsay has got some information to give us about Boys and Girls Club, and we'll turn it over to you first, Lindsay.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Tribal Council, for allowing me on the agenda tonight. I don't know where I'm supposed to stand. Is this good?
You're good. You're good,
Well,
right?
there's the cameras right there.
But you're good.
I'll stand here. It'll get my voice, right?
I'll stand over here.
Oh, come
People
on.
at home want to be able to see.
Okay. So I'd like to thank you for allowing me to come speak, and give shed a little bit of light on an organization that feels so far from you guys, but really isn't. And I'll explain that a little bit. I also want to thank, I saw a couple of you a couple Saturdays ago and was able to thank you for finding the funding for us. I really appreciate that from the bottom of my heart and all of the kids in Chelsea.
Absolutely.
So I've given you a little, I call it a tip sheet pretty much. It's kind of us in a snapshot of what we do, who we are, who we serve, the partners we have, and the programs, and I won't bore you with all of the programs we run, because we could be here all night. But I do want to stress to you that the Boys and Girls Club of Chelsea, if you'll look, and I think I missed a couple that came in late, but if you look at this flyer right here, if you look at the very first page, what stands out?
Native,
Oklahoma's first Native club.
yeah.
So that tells me, and I'll give you a little bit of history, that tells me that the Delawares back in the 90s were visionaries. They looked to the future. They were ahead of Cherokee Nation, which we rarely feel like we are, right? We were ahead of Cherokee Nation by 2 years on this. The next Boys and Girls Club did not open in Oklahoma until 1996. And I just want you guys to soak that in a little bit and take pride in the fact that the Delawares were visionaries where our youth was concerned, the youth development. And that's pretty powerful to me. And another little tidbit of information that goes along with that is they're researching it as we speak. I was hoping to have it by tonight, but they believe, I went through Boys and Girls Club of America, Native Services, the vice president, and she's helping me research. But they do believe that we were the third Boys and Girls Club in America. Native. Boys and Girls Club in America charter.
Very good.
And the two before us are no longer in existence.
Wow.
So I preface all that to tell you that even though we are 50 miles away, the work that we do in Chelsea, our Delaware tribe gains national recognition because of who we are. Not only that, I sit on a Native Advisory Committee nationwide. It's a council, there's 12 of us. I'm Oklahoma's representative. I'm the only Oklahoman. And I'm from our Delaware Club. That's another reason that we do garner national attention. And so, with that information and the little fact sheet you have here, we are home of over 500 registered members, and 120 of those are teenagers. We, on a daily average attendance, we're anywhere from 65 to 80. There are times that we're in the 90s in Chelsea. That you won't find those numbers. You can go to Pryor, you can go to some of the other Boys and Girls Club around, and you won't find those numbers in such a small community. And while they aren't all Delaware, there's a small portion that are Delaware, but almost 60% of them are Native kids. And the cultures that we teach are of our Delaware culture. If you've stepped foot in our club, you can see that above each room is the Delaware language of what that room is. And our kids literally go out and find natural clay, and they mold it and they fire it, and then they paint it. We have one of the best art programs in the state in Boys and Girls Clubs. And so I ask that the tribal council take pride in the fact that we are 50 miles away, but that doesn't really matter. It didn't matter in the 90s. Headquarters was here. It didn't matter back then. And so I just ask that, we continue to take pride in the fact that the Delawares were the first tribe in Oklahoma to serve our youth, to serve all youth. And I just wanted to come here tonight to explain to you that the importance of the youth we serve, and to welcome any of you into the club at any time. come over and say hi and mingle with the kids. And we're always looking for storytellers, you know, and language, you know, put on language classes. Those are things that I would welcome. I can bring kids here. You know, there's so many things that we can do, but I just want you to take one more look at the yellow sheet and look at the list of partners. And these partners are not all financial resources for us, but they're other resource avenues for us. And if you look at the list, this is not all inclusive. There are more. I just couldn't fit them on. But these are the meat of the heart of what we do in our programs. And with what you do as a tribal council and as a tribe over here, we have some of the same partners. And that's special to me. And so we're not over there all on an island on our own. We take pride in our Delaware culture over there. So even though we are there, we support the tribe. And our kids know about the Delawares. And I really just wanted to take the opportunity to tell you guys a little bit about what we did, the programs we run. Yes.
I just want to say, we as a tribe are thankful to have you, the work you've done and your mother have done. Thank you. I know we had a little hiccup
Yes.
recently, but we got through it. I think everybody's happy. Hopefully we worked it out. So we certainly commend you on the work you've done.
Thank you, I appreciate that. And going off of that subject, I would like for tribal council to consider at one time, the Boys and Girls Club and our tribe had an MOA. And it was an understood MOA of what was understood from our part and what was understood from the tribe's part. And the 50,000 that we do get, that's almost a third of our budget. You know, we're growing, exponentially we've grown in the last 2 years. And so I see that, you know, continuing, but we can't do it and we don't want to do it without our Delaware tribe support.
Have you got a copy of that old MOA?
She was gonna try to find it.
You have to understand, that's from '94.
I know.
And I'll try to go back and see if I can.
If you
I
could just
can
send it
find
over
that.
to Chief or I, and we can work on it and bring it back to the council.
I do think I have a copy of a more recent one that we had when, we signed one when,
Ron. Curtis.
Curtis was chief.
If you could send that copy, that
So we can go a little off of that one. How, you know, we started out at $75,000. That got cut to, I believe it was $39,500, but at that time they were giving us $10,000 for maintenance. Then when you all took over, you bumped it back up to $50,000, which we're very, very grateful for this administration for bumping it back up. I'm trying to think I believe the last MOA we signed was with I don't know, Paula, do you remember if we signed an MOA when you were chief? I am having a hard time remembering. I'll just have to look through paperwork, but I don't mind.
I just think if you find any copy of any
Anything.
MOA with us,
I'll be happy
just
to
scan it
to look.
and email
Yes.
it over.
Yes.
Would be great. Then we'll have something to work off of.
And just to, I know you didn't ask, but I'm gonna be forthcoming. So I do give monthly reports to the chief financial officer. They are the exact financials that I give to my board.
You send them to Leslie.
Yes. And I sent them to Jean before Leslie was there. And they are a complete, accurate picture of where our money goes,
Great.
what money we have coming in, revenues and expenses.
Right.
And I can tell you that the Nahasda funds that we've received have went to administrative costs and building and maintenance facilities. you know, lights, water, gas, because they are indirect. And so it goes to, and you're looking at the administrative salaries, I mean, you're looking at her. So, but when you take into consideration, we do have 5 staff, paid staff. And you have to have that when you're running 75 kids. And that's a day from 3 to 6. So that's a lot of
We're in
kids.
the summer.
In the summer, we're 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., free. It is free. We provide breakfast, lunch, and a snack, and we run anywhere from 50 to 60.
Very good.
And for those of you that don't know, if we do serve approximately 15, that fluctuates as rental. You know, sometimes it'll be in the 20s, and then sometimes it'll drop down into the 10s. But right now, we're approximately 15 households in Chelsea live in Delaware housing, and those children that live in Delaware housing are free. But our membership is $20 a year. So
You have scholarships for other Native kids that can't afford the 20?
we work with anybody.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not gonna turn anybody away.
Okay, very good.
I'd like to see that report included in our monthly reports. So
Yeah, I
it
don't
keeps
think
it
we've
in
ever
front.
tried to
Not-
micromanage
not to
it,
manage,
so
just so we're
I would
aware.
assume if there was an issue, Leslie would have brought it to us. So I
Yeah.
assume everything is fine.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
talking about that, I'm just
Yeah.
talking about keeping it in front of the council so we're
Awareness.
aware
Yeah.
of what's going
Yeah,
on.
and we can ask Leslie for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, she's got them. Matter of fact, I think the last month, we didn't have a board, we meet every month, most months unless we don't have a quorum. But every month I do my reports, and it's got my director's report as well as the financials for the month before. She gets the agenda, she gets the minutes, she gets the financials, and she gets my report. So there's no stone left unturned.
Right.
But I just, without taking it, is there anything I missed?
No, I think you're covering it pretty well.
Without taking
There's-
too much of your time.
We could take up an hour.
Yeah,
Both of us. Our
yeah.
heart is with that club. I mean,
And we can tell
are
them,
just-
we can tell them.
it's, we can tell you stories, we can share stories, but we'd have you all in tears. But I do, I do want to reiterate that we certainly are appreciative of everything you do for us. Those kids are appreciative.
Thank you.
Yes.
And I enjoyed the times I've been over there.
Yeah. Bonnie Jo's came over to a couple of our stomps, and we try to host those and get our kids involved in them. And a lot of what I've found, that's one of the toughest things, is the kids are facing cultural identity crisis. And I pretty much know, because I'm a Chelsean, so I know their parents, and I went to school with a lot of them, and I can pretty well look out there and say, raise your hand if you're Native. And maybe 5 or 6 of them raise their hand. They have no idea. They have no idea. So the biggest thing is the cultural identity crisis that we're facing there.
Well, and I think with Curtis soon turning the downstairs, down the hill building into a culture center, we can probably work with you bringing the kids over here or him going over there at times
Well,
and
even
working
our-
together with that
Our
center.
social we have for cultural preservation.
Right, and the second Tuesday of every month
Yeah.
at 6 o'clock, I believe, we have a potluck dinner and social with the
Language,
families and do a little language and dancing and stuff the second Tuesday of every month. If
Okay.
you've got a bus, you can bring them over.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome.
We do.
With Cherokee Nation.
The
I saw that, I saw that, I
The
saw that.
Cherokees just gave us a
I know.
beautiful, beautiful bus.
I saw that on Facebook, but
Yeah.
you're more than welcome to load them up and bring them over for that anytime.
Yeah, and
I'll
it's
just-
not out there, but I would like for you guys to know before it does get out there, because I don't want you guys to think, well, she stood in front of us and talked to us, but we will be opening a new site. It's gonna be in Veneta, Boys and Girls Clubs of Veneta, a unit under Boys and
Oh,
Girls Club
very
of Chelsea.
good.
So Chelsea's branching out, and it's something Veneta needs, and I want you guys to know that we are branching out. It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean we have exponential funds, because that's not the case.
Yes, you need to
But-
explain that to them, that we,
Yeah.
they have their own funding.
Right.
Yeah.
That funding is separate.
But the grant money, we get per unit. So I have a couple of grants now through Department of Justice and National Congress of American Indians that have 20,000 sitting there for me to go to that site once it's open. So the funding streams will be separate, but you know, I just wanted you guys to know we're looking at a 2019 date at sometime in summer of 19.
And we've got Delaware Days on the September 28th to 29th, I believe. And on the 29th during the day, Curtis has some things planned for the kids. You might
Okay.
send him an email or give him a call. You might be able to bring a busload of kids over for that. It'll be up at the Copan Powwow grounds.
Okay.
And I know he's planning some things on that Saturday.
Okay. That's usually it always falls
Oh.
on Chelsea's Jamboree.
Oh,
And we have all of our kids using our booth and doing
That's
our
fine.
booth and stuff.
That's
It always falls on that
It's
same.
always the last weekend in September.
Yes, and so is our Jamboree.
Okay, so yeah,
Yes.
I understand then
But
totally.
if I could get a staff, if I could get a staff to cover and man the booth, I could probably bring some of them over
Okay,
myself.
well, that,
So,
I mean, that just needs to be worked out. I
Yeah.
mean, if you can, you can. If you can't, we understand.
but, I won't take, because I know you guys have business, but do you guys have any questions about anything? Does anybody have any questions?
I was just gonna say that, I think you're doing an amazing job.
Thank
I've
you.
watched over the last 4 years with all your grant writing and
Thank you.
been privileged to be a part of that. I know that northeastern Oklahoma is one of the highest capital met in the
It
country.
is, yeah.
So the Boys and Girls Club are pretty instrumental in providing services to that.
Yeah, and we're one of the only Boys and Girls Club. Matter of fact, I think we are the only Boys and Girls Club in the state of Oklahoma that got the MSPI grant.
Yes.
So,
It's well for our tribe.
I think we have 3 years left, so,
Now, our counselor is a Seneca Cayuga,
our.
but he's very good at what he
behavioral
does.
health.
We don't care.
Yeah, that's
As long as
right.
he,
I had to throw that in, I always kid him about that.
And
Yeah.
the MOA might be with the funder at HUD. I have appointed them, and they've given me things all the way back to the 80s. So I'm quite sure that you could probably get a hold of HUD, and you just write them a
I bet it
letter,
is.
approximate date, and they'll send it to you.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Thank you.
oh, yes.
I was just gonna say that I wanna thank you for a good report about the Boys and Girls Club and Nikki.
Thank you,
And,
Chief.
this tribe is glad that we can help.
Thank you, Chief. I appreciate all the support. Thank you.
Are there other tribal guests in the audience that would like to address the council? Yes.
I'm Stephanie Raywater, and I just want to make a quick announcement that on Saturday, this coming Saturday, I'm having a National Public Lands Day event at Osage Hills State Park. And it's whether you want to come as a tribe, if the club wants to come, or you want to come as an individual. We've got, the park has a lot of extra gravel, and it has to be spread by hand, and they don't have the staff to do that, because the sandstone cobbles out there, they erode over time, and people are gonna break their ankles on those trails. They're pretty dangerous right now. So we're gonna make them safer so more people can get out and enjoy the land. And as a side project to that, we've also got a lot of professional archaeologists coming out to do a more thorough investigation of some prehistoric cultural sites that are along the Sand Creek Loop down there. So there's gonna be a lot of interesting things going on, and you can just show up anytime. We'll be checking in people at the main pavilion at 8 in the morning, but if you show up later, we won't be hard to find. So
Where's that?
At Osage Hills State Park. So I welcome anyone that wants to come join us and get dirty and sweaty.
How late is it gonna last?
Oh, I would say probably not much past 3 because everyone's gonna be hot and tired by then.
We got a film Saturday, unfortunately.
As long as we've got people willing to work, then I'll stay out there and work with them, but I doubt I could get people past that time.
What was your name? I'm sorry. I didn't-
Stephanie Rainwater.
Stephanie Rainwater?
Stephanie, are you gonna stay for our whole meeting? I did, because I'm aware of that, Mark Beagle,
Oh, yep.
and of course, your work on it is perfectly satisfactory with it, so it can go right on to the Bureau.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there additional tribal members that would wish to speak? We're down to the minutes. And all council members got the well-written minutes, but I have to ask, are there any additions or corrections?
No. I make a motion, we approve them.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the minutes as written. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And there's no abstentions. Aye. Let the record show the minutes are approved unanimously. Unfinished business. Do I hear?
Chief, the fishing tournament, I know we got the budget under new business, but under unfinished, anybody, it's gonna be the 6th of October. Anybody that's got a pop-up tent that we can use, or wants to come out and help weigh fish and check in fisher people, they're more than welcome to come help. We're gonna start registering at 10 a.m., lines in the water at 10:30.
I
And it's
know,
open to all native kids, you could bring kids from over there.
last fall, when we had the fishing tournament, the kids had a great time. And, they caught quite a few fish,
They did.
so let's get out there and support.
I'll send you the flyer on that.
Please do.
And we made sure that every kid went home with some, even it was a package of bobbers. At the end, we drew out names and kids got to come up and pick off a table, whether it was a stringer or a little fishing box. Tackle box, I guess it is, sorry, not a fisher person. And so we wanted to make sure every kid, even if they didn't have the biggest fish, they went home with something. So if you're gonna bring very many, if you just let me know ahead of time.
Okay.
Nikki Michael.
Yes, I just want to say a few words about the American Indian Science and Engineering Society. We brought that up last meeting. We've got 3 Delaware women, young ladies, going to be attending ACES. We have sponsorships from the, let me make sure I got them all. ACES is giving us 600 total, so we really need to thank them especially. They don't normally do stuff like that. The Delaware Elders gave 500, and the Bank First is looking at 1,000. I'm confirming that tomorrow. And the 3 students are Cora and Mira Randall, and then Cheyenne Hawley and Michelle Hawley is going to go as the chaperone. So we're excited and really want to encourage people to attend that, even if you're not a student. It's got businesses from all across the world attending it, and it'll be a great opportunity. It's that pipeline going out to the work world.
Thank you. Do I hear any other unfinished business? If not, we're into reports,
Financials.
starting with financials. Benita?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we approve the financials for August 31st, 2018, pending audit. And our total liabilities and fund equities are at $13,168,761.40.
I'll second that motion.
A motion been made and seconded to approve the financial pending audit. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Let the record show the financials are approved pending audit unanimously. I see almost every department or tribe has got their monthly report in here. Is there any department that would wish to make a comment about their report?
I think Chris Miller does.
Yes, Chief. I've shown each of you the new card style that I would like to pursue, along with going with a hologram, which would make it more secure. It makes our travel cards more secure. And there's other security features in there as well. It would do away with the little barcode that's on there now. The only thing the barcode reads if you have a scanner is the number that's above it. It doesn't have anybody's address, it doesn't say anything else. And the upgrade was paid for through the enrollment enhancement project, which we wrapped up last year. And finally getting to the finality of that.
Do you need a motion to make that work?
I would need a motion to, at least to make a hologram of our own, which I would like for it to be the tribal seal. And
I'll make the motion and we authorize the changes to make the new card.
thank you.
Do I hear a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion?
Call for the question.
No discussion, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Opposed? And there's no abstentions. Let the record show that the motion is passed unanimously. Thank you, Chris. Is there any other comments about the monthly reports or questions? If not, we're in new business.
Chief, I'd like to make a motion that we vote to appoint Linda Kilscrow temporarily to our court. She's been elected, so to speak, to our tribal court, but will not take office until November 10th. And we do have a vacancy, and I would like to temporarily fill it. They have some training that she's needing to take before November 10th, so I'd like her to fill in that temporary spot till November 10th. And I'll make that motion.
I'd like to second that.
Motion been made and seconded to appoint Linda Kilscrow to a 2.5-month judge seat until she's seated under her regular election. And we know that Linda's gonna be seated because there's only 2 people running for the 3 justice seats.
If she votes for herself.
You gotta have one vote to win, you gotta have one vote. Takes one vote.
All she has to do is have one vote to win, and I'm sure she will.
Call for question.
Question been called, all in favor of appoint Linda Hillsgrove to adjust the seat until election day. Please say aye.
Aye. This time, can we have Nate swear her in?
Opposed?
Oh,
Let the record show that Linda Hillsgrove is appointed to adjust the seat unanimously. And I would ask Chief Justice Nathan Young to swear Linda in.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Chief. I want to say just a few things, and I really do mean a few things. Linda has been here all afternoon working with us, and I am truly impressed with her skills, and I think she'll make a valuable contribution to the court. I was truly impressed, and I want to welcome you to the court after we give you this oath, and then I guess we'll give you another oath, or we'll swear at you again, however you want to say it, in November. Would you mind coming up? Or I can come to you, either way.
that's all right.
And if you would, just repeat after me. I,
I,
your name,
Linda Hillsgrove,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States of America
the Constitution of the United States of America
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
that I will carry out faithfully
that I will carry out faithfully
and impartially
and impartially
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
that I will cooperate,
that I will cooperate,
promote,
promote,
and protect
and protect
the best interests
the best interests
of the Delaware tribe
of the Delaware tribe
in accordance with the Constitution and bylaws.
in accordance with the Constitution and bylaws.
Congratulations.
Linda,
Thank you very much.
congratulations.
Congratulations, Linda.
Hope you'll excuse me, I've got a long drive home.
She said she would need to just scoot out. She's gotta get back to Ponca City before it gets dark.
She did a fine job this afternoon. Very proud of her.
Thanks, Linda.
Thank you.
Next item on your new business is budget approval.
Chief, I'm asking for a budget of $750. I don't think it'll be that much. Cultural Preservation agreed to buy 2 boxes of those hot dogs from Peck's and furnish the buns. And so we will be buying prizes, drinks, chips, condiments, and that sort of thing. So I think $750 would be the very max, but I don't think it'll be that much. But I'm asking the council to approve up to $750.
Do I hear, that's in the form of a motion.
I can make that form of motion, yes.
Do I hear a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
Motion been made and seconded to approve up to $750 for the fishing tournament. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Let the record show that the fishing tournament is approved unanimously. So the kids are to be happy when they catch a bunch of fish.
It's a 3 fish minimum, on the maximum. They can weigh in 3 fish together. And they can take them home.
Could Secretary Randall read the resolution 2018-30 enrollment resolution?
Resolution 2018-30, a resolution of the Tribal Council of the Delaware Tribe of Indians to approve tribal membership for September the 18th, 2018. Whereas the Delaware Tribal Council and the Delaware Tribe of Indians adopts this resolution in accordance with the Delaware Tribal Membership Act to approve for membership individuals that have been initially approved by the enrollment director as eligible for tribal membership, and whereas the following applicants have been determined eligible for enrollment by the enrollment director: Lauren L. Atkins, Alexander D. Atkins, Desiree R. Cutler, Jonathan T. Gray, Lana N. Gray, Myra C. Bechtel, James O. Cutter Wiley, Julius L. Cutter Wiley, Alina, A. Gallagher, Aina E. Hyman, Joseph T. Hyman, Serenity A. Marshall, Brooklyn N. Brown, Bryson K. Brown, Chris C. White, Jennifer D. Barnes, Joseph D. Barnes, Jayden D. Garcia, Clayton P. Fox, Dakota J. Fox, Jackson E. Fox, Renee Sams, Cole Pumphrey, Dakota L. Pumphrey, Lila R. Pumphrey, Leonard W. Longhorn, Felicia R. Myers, Marcella Alejandra, Gregory R. Gillen, Angela A. Rosa, Christine E. Gonzalez.
All in favor of approval?
We have to have a motion.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
There is a missing name on there. When I adjusted it, there's a missing name on that list. If I can bring this up.
Okay, in addition to that is Myra S. Wilkins. Marana S. Wilkins.
I'll change my motion. I'll change my motion to include that.
It's a second agreeable.
Yes.
All in favor of approval of our new membership, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Let the record show that the new members are approved unanimously. And let's give them a hand.
First thing in the morning.
Chris, do you happen to know right off the top of your head how many new members we've got in the last 12 months?
No, Chief, I do not.
It'd be approximately 360 to 400, wouldn't it?
I would say approximately 280 to 300.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
This resolution.
Resolution 2018-32.
Resolution 2018-32, a resolution of the Tribal Council of the Delaware Tribe of Indians to approve a memorandum of agreement with the Oklahoma Department of Human Services Offices of Child Support Services. I'm just going to read part of it. Whereas the Delaware Tribe Child Support Services has developed a memorandum of agreement between the Delaware Tribe and the Oklahoma Department of Human Services Office of Child Support Services, that such memorandum establishes a cooperative agreement outlining responsibilities of each agency to provide services on behalf of children and families. And whereas the Oklahoma Department of Human Services Office of Child Support Services has co-developed the attached memorandum and acknowledge compliance with applicable federal laws while respecting the sovereign status of the Delaware Tribe of Indians. And whereas the Delaware Tribal Council of the Delaware Tribe of Indians adopts this resolution to authorize Chief Jeff Brooks to sign the memorandum on behalf of the tribe. Now therefore it be resolved, the Delaware Tribal Council of the Delaware Tribe of Indians does hereby authorize and approve the memorandum of agreement between the Oklahoma Department of Human Services Office of the Child Support Services and the Delaware Tribe of Indians.
Can I hear a motion to
I make
approve?
the motion, we approve that.
I'll second.
Motion's been made to approve and seconded. All in favor of approval of resolution 2018-32, please say aye.
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 Chief, you might mention why we don't have a 2018-31.
Actually, I'd like to mention it, but I don't know exactly what it is. I think it's a resolution with the state of Kansas.
State of Kansas, and Kansas has
Not
changed some.
ready yet.
Kansas has changed some of the wording, so we'll.
But that's why there's a, on everybody's
That's-
agenda,
that's
that's
why
why there's a
gotta
bump in the
skip.
road there, yeah.
Okay, can we hear be it resolved of the resolution 2018-33 that was added to our agenda?
Resolution 2018-33, a resolution of the Tribal Council of Delaware Indians proclaiming the following 12 months as a celebration entitled Families First. Whereas the Delaware Tribal Council acknowledges the long-standing tradition of the Lenape people to prioritize the health and welfare of its children and families, and whereas the Delaware Tribal Council desires to promote the stability, safety, and happiness of the tribal children and families, now therefore be resolved, the Delaware Tribal Council hereby designates the following 12 months as the celebration entitled Families First. And further be it resolved that the Delaware Tribal Council, consistent with its authority under the Delaware Tribe of Indians Constitution, does hereby authorize the principal chief to issue a proclamation designated October 1st, 2018 through September 30th, 2019 as a year-long event entitled Families First.
Do I hear a motion to approve resolution 2018-33?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor of approval of resolution 2018-33, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Let the record show that it passes unanimously. Do I hear any further business?
I make a motion we adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion been
She spoke up on
made.
that one, we just got ready to read.
All in favor, please say
You
aye.
driving back?
Aye.
You driving back
Tonight?
tonight?
Wow.
How long drive?
Too easy.
How long a drive is it?